Have you ever really stopped to think about what it takes to bring a brand new power station online? I'm not talking about fixing an old one, but firing one up from scratch for the very first time and connecting it to the grid that powers, well, everything.
Right, let's get into it. We all flip light switches every day, right? It's second nature. But how in the world do you flip the master switch for an entire city? You might be picturing some huge, dramatic lever being pulled, but the reality? Oh, it's way more interesting and a whole lot more complex than that.
You see, the secret isn't about just blasting a ton of energy into the system all at once. Nope, it's actually the exact opposite. It's a slow, careful, and unbelievably precise process. Every single wire, every component is checked and then double-checked long before it ever sees a single volt of electricity.
Think of this whole procedure as a high-voltage handshake. It's this super carefully managed introduction between a new power facility and the existing grid. And this handshake, well, it's the very foundation that makes sure our power stays on reliably for years and years to come.
So this process actually has a name. It's called commissioning. And what's really key here are the words on this slide. It's an official process of testing and verifying. This isn't just a casual, let's see if it works. No, this is about proving, with hard data, that everything is not only safe, but built exactly the way it was designed to be.
So, where does a massive undertaking like this even begin? Well, believe it or not, the success of that final switch on is decided way before anyone even puts on a hard hat. It all starts with what we could call the invisible work, all the meticulous planning that happens completely behind the scenes. This entire prep phase is really built on 4 critical pillars. First, you draft a master plan that scripts out every single action. There's absolutely no improvising here. Next, you get all the specialized equipment ready because, a test is only as good as the tools you're using. Then comes maybe the most important part, fortifying all the safety measures to create a totally controlled environment. And finally, you train the specialist team to handle literally any scenario. When you're dealing with this kind of power, you have to be ready for anything.
And this slide, this is a perfect snapshot of what that preparation actually looks like in the real world. We're talking about instruments that are calibrated to perfection, manuals that leave zero room for guesswork, and of course, all the high-voltage gear to keep the team safe. And see those checklists? They might seem simple, but they are one of the most powerful tools they have to eliminate basic human error from a process that has zero margin for it.
Okay, so the plan is set. All the gear is in place, and now we've arrived at the moment of truth. This is the execution phase. This is where the plan is put into motion, and the engineers start carefully, methodically, testing and confirming every single system.
Now here's the absolute core principle during the execution. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is left to chance or memory. Every measurement, every value, every single outcome is recorded in real time. This data log becomes the official biography of the commissioning, proving that every last step was done and done correctly. This table shows you exactly what that logging looks like. You've got the expected value from the blueprints, and then the actual value, measured right there on site. So as you can see, the voltage relay passed, pretty much perfect. The insulation resistance, even better than expected. But then, look at the circuit breaker timing. That's a fail. A circuit breaker is basically a gigantic, super-fast safety switch. This one was too slow, and on a power grid, a few milliseconds can be the difference between a tiny hiccup and a massive blackout.
And that right there brings us to the most important question in this whole explainer. What happens when something goes wrong? Because in a system this complex, this powerful, you just can't ignore a single failure. A super strict protocol kicks in instantly. Boom, everything stops. The first job isn't even to fix it, it's to find the root cause, the why. Why did it fail? Only after they truly understand the problem do they implement a precise engineering fix. Then they run the exact same tests all over again to prove the fix worked. In every single step of this little detour, the failure, the investigation, the solution gets documented, turning a problem into a permanent lesson for the future. So, after every test has passed, every issue's been solved, and every little component is verified, the process moves into its final stage. And this isn't just about finishing up, it's about closing the loop and creating a permanent record of accountability. And this final report, this is the capstone of the entire project. It's so much more than just paperwork. It's the official document that certifies the facility is safe for public use. It creates that permanent archive for any future engineers. It shares all the critical lessons learned along the way, and, really importantly, it proves that the project follows every single legal and technical standard. So why? Why go through all this incredible trouble? After all the planning, all the testing, all the documentation, what is the ultimate payoff for this ridiculously detailed process?
Well, this comparison here makes it crystal clear. The process-driven approach, the one we've been talking about, it guarantees safety, reliability, and efficiency for decades. The alternative? A hasty, rush job? Well, that path inevitably leads to danger, outages, and unbelievably expensive fixes down the road.
And this statement really just says it all, doesn't it? The commissioning isn't just another step in building something, it is the final guarantee. It's the promise that when you need it, the lights will turn on, and more importantly, they'll stay on safely and reliably.
So, the next time you flip a light switch, maybe you'll think about the incredible unseen science and meticulous care that made such a simple action possible. Which leaves us with one last thing to think about. What other hidden processes are out there, quietly and perfectly powering your world?